Well, now it's not just states like Ohio and Alabama that are right in the middle of this nation's abortion debate. With the latest abortion restriction bill passing both chambers of the state legislature this week, Missouri is right in the middle. And that leads to the question, why do proponents of these restrictions think they're good policy? To find out more, I sat down with one of the bill's primary sponsors, Republican State Senator Eric Burleson. Why now? Why these restrictions on abortion when the abortion rate in Missouri is the lowest it's been in years?
I think that Missourians value life. I think that it's as we've learned more and more about what happens in the development of the child in the womb, I think that science is really ignoring the science of what's happening, that there is life inside of that womb. So it really comes down to making sure that a woman who is in that situation, that they have the support that's necessary, and that at this point there's two lives involved, right? So we want to make sure that that support is there. That's why, along with passing the bill, I worked very hard to make sure that we have the resources available at our pregnancy resource centers. So we bolstered the support that we provide to our pregnancy resource centers.
Critics of the bill say that Missouri, with a high maternal mortality rate, needs to spend money to help those most in need, those who would be most affected by having a child. Burleson says the bill makes those provisions.
What's great about what we did in this bill is that we completely lifted the cap on the amount that can be donated to a pregnancy care center. So today, right now, that cap is $3 million a year that's divided amongst those 72 pregnancy resource centers around the state. So that's not a lot. In fact, if you look at that and compare that to other things that we fund, we're actually very stingy to our pregnancy resource centers. But what we did is we completely eliminated that cap. So what that means is that an individual that wants to support their local pregnancy resource center can now make a contribution and know that they will have a tax deduction and a tax credit that they would benefit from as they are giving charitably to their local center.
Perhaps the biggest critique against the bill is the lack of exemptions for cases of rape and incest. Burleson says that policy is a matter of principle.
Yeah, those acts are horrific, and as much as we'd want to erase the act and make it so that it didn't happen, if a child then becomes the result, we don't want to make the child pay for that act. And at this point, at that moment, there would be two lives, and I think that it would be an error to make that child pay for the horrific act that from which they came about into the world.
And as you might imagine, state Democrats have a very different view of these restrictions. St. Louis area representative and Democratic leader Sarah Unsicker joined me for an interview right after pro-choice protesters erupted in chants in the House gallery. Unsicker was visibly shaken.
I am heartbroken right now. This is going to be devastating for women in our state. We are spending lots of time on this and ignoring other issues like 9,000 children who were cut off Medicaid last year, issues like Meals on Wheels, offices closing, and instead we're passing legislation that's going to hurt the women of our state.
And Unsicker has advice for those disillusioned by the new restriction.
Vote for pro-choice candidates. They can support pro-choice candidates and get involved in elections, and they can talk to their friends and neighbors and let people know what Republicans are doing to this state.
Emotions running high on both sides in Jefferson City, and this issue, this controversy, is far from over. For now, we'll be back after this.